Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Comfy Mia, and this is my second video, which has taken a long time for me to do because I feel like I have to be going out and wear makeup and a wig or something to before I can make a video. So today's Sunday and I have makeup on and a wig on, so I thought I'd come and talk to you guys. In my first video I did say I was gonna, or maybe this is my third video, I don't know, but this is one of the few videos that I've done so far on my channel, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about JobCorp. So if you don't know what JobCorp is, first off, it is a government sponsored vocational program for Americans under the age of like 24, but you have to at least have like your green card and you have to be a citizen to go. So like 10 years ago, I went to JobCorp, okay? And literally 10 years, like I started in, I went in 2013, June 2013. So it's been exactly 10 years. And so I'll start by, why did I go to JobCorp? First off, I really wanted to get a certificate because I was finding it so hard to find a job. I had dropped out of college because I couldn't afford it, the first school I went to, and I really wanted to get a job, but everywhere you apply, they tell you no, especially when you're a teenager. But they're thinking, oh, you probably just want to get 1 or 2 paychecks and then you quit. But that really wasn't my case. I needed a job, very much so, and I wanted somebody serious to hire me so that I could start my career, but I wasn't getting that. So, and I was tired of working at Kohl's. Prior to working at Kohl's, I worked at McDonald's. I worked as an activities assistant in a nursing home, and they weren't really paying me much, and I was like, I can't really go up from here. I needed something better, right? So I decided to go to JobCorp. I was just Googling and they were like, oh, you can do this program. I was like, wow, I never even heard of this before. I mean, someone kind of talked about it in high school, but I thought it was like for people who weren't smart. Sorry, that's really what I thought. Like people who don't have aspirations to go to college, really, or are not interested in college. They just want to be like electrician or something. So that was like my idea of it at the time. But once I got to learn more about it, I Googled, I was like, oh, there's so many things you can do. CNA, nursing assistant. They even have like LPNs. They have a lot of different programs that you can do, like masonry. Again, it's a vocational school where they teach you a skill. You leave, you go and get a job, right? So that was why I went. And then the application process was very, very straightforward. Like from me reaching out to the recruiter to me being on campus, it was like a 3-week span. And I'm from Maryland, right? But I decided to go to a JobCorp in Pennsylvania because that was the closest one, but still far enough, if that makes sense. And one of the reasons why I went to the specific one, this one's Keystone JobCorp, is because they had an LPN program. Listen. They had an LPN program. Come to find out, when I went there, they had stopped that program since December. So another thing with JobCorp is like the recruiters are not informed about what's going on the different campuses. So if they've discontinued a program and you went there specifically for that program and now you're just stuck. So once I got on campus and I was asking questions, they were like, oh yeah, they're only doing one last class, and the class started in December and we are in June. So imagine, I'm here like, wow. And it was a 1-year program. So it was just like disheartening. And I was like, I didn't want to do a CNA course. I went there for a medical assistant course because the promise was that it would pay more, right? But again, different states, different rules, all of that, right? So how long was it? Medical assistant course that I went for was supposed to be like 6 months, and I spent in total about 7 months. I went in like June. By January I was done and back in Maryland. and traveling. So they'll like to go there. First of all, a lot of times these Job Corps locations, the campuses, are in like the middle of nowhere. Seriously, they're in the middle of nowhere, and so it would take like 8 hours to get to from Silver Spring, Maryland, if you're familiar with Silver Spring. Taking a Greyhound to like Philly, and then from Philly taking another bus to Hazleton. If you're from the Pennsylvania area, you probably know Hazleton. And then from Hazleton, like we would get off that Greyhound and take like the Job Corps bus to Drums, Pennsylvania, and then like that will start our journey. It was like a whole thing. Like when you would come, you are basically like fresh meat. Everybody wants to know what the new people look like, blah blah blah. It was like, and it was such a long journey, so by the time everybody gets there, like we are tired. Most of the people, the students that came were either from Philly or from DC. There were only a few people from other parts, like maybe a few from New York and all that stuff, but most of it, like a big percentage for this specific Job Corps Center, which is Keystone, they were from Philly or DC. And you know, Philly and DC people, that's when I learned that they don't really get along, but yeah, they all ended up there. And I think I already talked about the types of skills that you get there. I mean, masonry, blah blah blah, like carpentry, electrician job skills, plumbing, stuff like that. For me, I went there to get my medical assistant certification. I also did phlebotomy tech, and I was an EKG tech. So the issue is like, because all of this is done in Pennsylvania, you can work, at least at that time, okay, this is 10 years ago. At that time, you could work with just a medical assistant license. But when I came to Maryland, I was finding it so hard to find a job, because they were like, oh, in order for you to work as a medical assistant, you need to have a CNA license. So after coming here and spending 7 months, I couldn't really use the skills because I don't have a CNA license. So they're like, okay. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go get the CNA license. So when I got the CNA license, like, I went to the school in Lanham. It didn't even take me that long. It was like, I think a month or so. And I got a job maybe like a week after finishing the course, as a CNA, not as a med tech. And I really wasn't interested in the med tech situation anymore, because CNA shifts were more flexible, and I was thinking about going back to university. But I wanted to, of course, start off in community college and all that stuff. But there was so much flexibility with being a CNA. You could work night shifts, morning shifts, overnight, afternoon 3 to 11. So all of that. So I just was like, I'm not even going to use the phlebotomy tech, EKG tech, medical assistant certification that I just spent 7 months of my life living in cold Pennsylvania. Yes, that place is so cold. Like, it will get to like the negative 10 degrees. I have never had that before. Like in Maryland, like our winters are pretty mild. And another thing about living on campus, like as me being a Christian, like now that I think about it, it's like these places, it's like there's something there, because the facility that we were using, I believe it was an infirmary or like a juvenile center. And so it was just like, there was something off about it, right? And then also, a lot of the students that were coming there, like they had a lot of mental issues, like behavioral issues, mental issues, like, you understand? So if you don't come from like a urban background, or you haven't lived in a very urban space, you will definitely be an oddball out. That's number one. And it will not be comfortable with you. And no matter how peaceful or easygoing you are, like myself, I know everybody says they're easygoing, but no matter how easygoing you are, like, you will have, and someone will have an issue with you. Like, they will just have an issue with you. There is a lot of free time, which caused a lot of people to like just do stupid stuff, you know. And then a lot of times the recruiters were starting to bring more people on campus, because obviously the more students they have, the more funding. So they were trying to fill this place up, but the more they filled the place up, the more fights, the more, it was just a lot. It was just not a great space. Honestly, I went there because I, number one, needed a certification so that I could earn more, and I needed a place to stay, and they were able to give me both of those, a place to stay and a certification. Did I make lifelong friends there? No. A lot of the people that I knew there, and I'm not like a pari person, I'm not a friend person, but a lot of the people that I met there, I think only one person I'm still friends with on social media. He was from my group. Like, we have cohorts kind of stuff, people that you enter the facility with, so you do orientation together and all that stuff. Of those people and basically everyone there, there's only one person that I still keep in contact with. Kwame, hi Kwame. Maybe one day you see this. Is there's only one person, right? Everybody else I've just like over the years just deleted them. You know, like me, I outgrow people. I don't know about others. I'm not going to keep you around just because, oh, I've known you for this long. It's like, what's your purpose in my life, right? And so I ended up just deleting a lot of stuff. And some, like a couple of months ago, one of them tried to add me, my little boo thing on the campus. Because I was like, no. I'm not there anymore. You can't add me. Because I feel like, what's the point? No. It's past. But you know, it was a really great learning experience. That was the first time, other than going to college and stuff, living on campus in Baltimore, but that I was on my own. I was in a different state. I was on my own, and it was just, you know, it was a learning experience. Those were really, really tough times for me, but I'm grateful for all of it, because it was a learning experience. And they will allow you to go to church. That's another thing I really liked, is that they would drive us to church, but then people took advantage of that as well, because they will use that time. We would be in church, well, some of us would be in church, but then they would just be roaming. They wouldn't go into the church. They would take the bus to go to church, but they would not go to church, and they would just be roaming, smoking, just being a nuisance. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, you're here to learn, to better yourself, and you're not doing that. You're just, it was a lot. And yeah, but I think about it often, especially this year, being at the 10-year anniversary of me going to JobCorp. I'm like, wow, God has really brought me far. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity. That was a time also when I was still thinking, do I want to go into healthcare? Because I was a business major the first year in college. My first major was financial economics. And once I had to drop out, I was still like, well, should I go into healthcare? I'm African, so everybody goes into nursing. So I was like, well, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be, but it's ended up not being where I'm supposed to be. I still, after a couple of different tries in healthcare, I made the decision that really I want to work in business, right? And when I came back to Maryland, I went to community college, and from community college, I started taking business courses again. But yeah, that's my JobCorp story. Like, it was a lot. Like, it was really, really a lot. We had a lot of different like rules. It's like being in prison. You have to be in bed by this time. You have to. The only great thing about it's like it teaches a lot of us. Like, we have chores every morning. We clean every morning before we go to classes. You wake up, you clean everywhere. So we are cleaning in the morning. We're cleaning in the evening. There's a lot. Like, so the place has to be like spick and span, because so many people in one place. It's like a lot. So there was a lot of cleaning. Everybody has their roles and responsibilities, and you have to do it. So it's like being in boot camp, or like being in the army or in jail. Because they're telling us what to do every time. Like, they tell us what to do, and you have to do it, right? We have a lot of different, and they'll give us like a stipend. I think the stipend was like $25 per week, which is not a lot. So, and I also worked off campus. I worked off campus for a little bit. You know, I got the hookup from my friend. So I was able to get like a caregiving job off campus. I was one of the few people that had that opportunity, because most people wouldn't get it. So they wouldn't even get hired. That's number one. Because JobCorp people had like a really bad name in the neighborhood because they would steal. They'll go to the stores and steal, and then they will come in the bus and like brag about it. So it's like everybody had a bad like the area, the residents, they had a really bad view of JobCorp students, like, oh, they steal or whatever, which they did, but it doesn't apply to everyone. So but anyway, that's my story. So if you are thinking about JobCorp, if it's not your last option, honestly, I would say don't go. I would say stay home. Honestly, just stay home, because I end up going there and I didn't even use the certifications that I got. I mean, it did help me realize, like, okay, this isn't really, healthcare is really not for me. But if I could do it again, would I? Probably not. No. And I went because it was the like last option. I would have tried to look for something else, or ask for help or something, but I wouldn't recommend going to JobCorp. I don't think it's like a healthy, mentally healthy place to be. Just no, don't go. Take it from me, don't go. Some people went there and got a skill and they use it. It's just like my personal experience is, if I could do it again, I would not. Yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great week ahead. Yeah, this is my video that I'm making. I'm going to be making more, hopefully. I just feel like so tired to put on makeup and a wig and all of that and get all dolled up, so we'll see. Bye.